Yes, episode 26 of the AboutBeverages.com podcast.
26.
It is Keith's personal torture. Although they've
Once
gotten
a
better,
year.
though. Once a year.
Andrew must cause me this pain. I cause him enough pain, I guess, throughout the year, so he's getting back at me. But actually, I bought one of these this year.
I know.
So it's partially my own doing.
You brought it on yourself.
I did. In fact, I bought the first one.
You did. That was what started it. 'Cause
I was prepared.
I wasn't even sure. Like, I was like, yeah, we should do one of those because, that does actually get, we're appreciative that a lot of people do seem to like these podcasts. And I always think they're funny, and it's become a very niche thing with us. But yeah, we, and actually, it's kind of getting amazing to me that we can keep finding more of them.
With our new green screen, maybe you can put like this pumpkin on my head. So I'm standing there.
It's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
That's right.
But, like I said, we're always kind of, or at least I'm amazed that we can still find ones. Because, we've been doing this for 3 years now, I guess, having these pumpkin podcasts.
10, 11, and 12, yeah.
And like I said, we initially just started out with one. It was part of a fall Oktoberfest kind of thing. And we found one, and it was from Shipyard Brewing. And it was actually pretty good. We actually liked it. You were surprised, I think, in spite of it. And
it was a sessionable one, I think, too, right?
It
I was
was.
looking recently. It's 4.7%. At least this year's. I don't know about all the others.
Yeah, no, I think the Pumpkinhead from Shipyard Brewing. And like I said, we liked it. And then that's kind of the next year we're like, oh, I found some more of them.
Yes.
And then the torture began.
So we put that up against 3 contenders and found a new winner.
Which was the Dogfish, the pumpkin.
That is our reigning champion.
That is still the
year.
reigning champion. It was from last year and the year before. So that's, we've gotten, that one's keeps making it through. I think we really like that flavor profile. It's got, I would like a little more of actual pumpkin. I'm not always just talking about the spice. When I say pumpkin, I actually mean the squash, vegetable, kind of the body and those kind of things. I'd like more of that to come through. But overall, the Dogfish, it's the most balance of having some sweetness. But they actually use brown sugar in there. And then their blend of spices is always just the right amount of everything. It's not...
And you've actually had this year already, right?
I have, yeah. I bought another 4-pack of it. We will be bringing that one back to compete with the other 3 challengers.
That's right.
And so let's talk about those. So should we just rattle off all 3 and then we'll get into it? Okay.
Sure.
So we have... it's just the way it worked out. We actually have 2 from Sam Adams.
Yeah.
And then we have 1 actually from a previous returning champion, which is Shipyard.
But it's not the same thing.
It is not the same thing.
Yeah.
It is completely different, but this is one that I've read about that gets actually pretty high accolades.
It's the Pugsley Signature Series.
Yeah.
Named for the brewer at Shipyard.
Yeah, it's the Smashed Pumpkin.
Smashed Pumpkin.
We'll be trying that one. We will also be trying the Harvest Pumpkin Ale, which is from Sam Adams, and we'll be trying their Fat Jack pumpkin beer, which is actually part of that limited edition series, which you saw just last week. We tried their Sati. Am I pronouncing that right?
As far as I know.
We tried that as well. So like I said, it's part of that limited edition series. So let's just get right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's get the flavors going. So we're going to start out with
I thought you were going to say something else. Shut the front door.
Shut the front door.
Get the flavor going.
So we're going to start out with the Sam Adams, their Harvest Pumpkin Ale. This is a seasonal beer that they do. They so they claim 17 pounds worth of pumpkin per barrel, along with assorted...
Say per beer?
Beer.
Per bottle.
Yeah. This is with other assorted spices, etc. So this is... I've not had any of these except for the returning champion, so...
And same for me.
Same for you as well. Yep. You didn't buy secret 6-packs of all these, just enjoyed drinking them and guzzling them.
I had to twist the guy's arm at Fry's to just sell me this one bottle today. So please,
you may be
don't
unhappy.
Sell me
you
anymore.
wish he would have sold you more.
It's
possible. We're going to find out.
Stop on my way home.
That's right. So we've got... So this was normally for a 6-pack. Do you happen to remember what that price was?
$8.99.
$8.99 for the 6-pack. That's kind of their typical seasonal price. And alcohol on this one's...
I've got it.
Oh, good.
5.7%.
Okay. All right. So let's get right into it. And this actually ties back into... Actually, by the time people are seeing this, probably the beer that Jason and I are brewing right now will already be done, and it involves pumpkin.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, no. I mean, yes. Great.
You jerk.
Well, if anybody can take pumpkin and make magic with it.
What if I said pumpkin porter?
That's right. You have said pumpkin porter. Yes.
And I said
that's a possibility.
Again.
Say it again.
So it is again.
Don't say it too many times, though.
No.
Stop now.
Little red amber coloring going on there.
A little brown. It reminds me a little bit of like a sun tea, like an iced tea.
Okay.
Or something
yeah,
like
there's
that.
a little bit more brown in there too, but yeah, just kind of amber. It's pretty mellow spices, I think, overall. Definitely the anise is kind of coming through. Are you getting the licorice?
I smell pumpkin barley wine.
How do you smell that?
I don't know.
There is no way
Malt.
there's that much malt in there. No way there's that much malt in there.
Okay, now I'm getting a little bit of the spice.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that the malts were primary over the spice?
They were.
Wow. There is something with your brain that just like switches those around. Because like
Malt.
you're always so astute with the other things that you smell aroma wise, and for some reason,
Oh,
as
I
soon
got
as
the malt
you
first.
have a hint of, I don't even get that. The first thing that hit me was actually more like clove, anise kind of things, like licorice kind of aroma.
See, now I'm getting some pumpkin.
Along with light gingerbread and spice. So I actually think the spice blend smells pretty good. It's not too strong. I'd probably like a little bit. Actually, wow, bless you.
Excuse me.
It really got in there.
Yes.
There's a strong powdery cinnamon in
It
there.
was there.
I would actually like a
See,
little.
I get the pumpkin. You know, like
Yeah.
when you're digging it out, when you got a pumpkin cut off the top and you're cleaning it
Yeah.
out.
No, there
that's
is.
what I'm smelling. Is
Yeah,
that right
no,
now?
I get that. See, I would actually like even a little. Well, I guess it's probably sweet enough.
bit of
I was
spice.
gonna say I would almost like a little bit more sweetness in there, but overall, I think that smells pretty good.
I've gotten past the malt.
Okay, all right. Now we'll get to the taste.
Put a little squirt of whipped cream in that. That'd be pretty good. No, actually, that's pretty nice.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's on the mellower side.
yeah.
I think there is some nice. I think the maltiness and there is some other like sugar sweetness in there that's nice. The spice blend is good. It hits kind of just all the right notes. I think. The only thing for me though is there is a lingering, which I guess maybe might be more toward. Boy, I don't know what I'm looking for here. There's some sort of something with the malts in there that really hits a sour.
I'm getting
something
the sour
heavy in the
part.
middle of my
Yeah.
tongue. It's not unpleasant per se, but I don't like how that finishes. It's another one where it's like I'm liking the whole enjoyment of the actual drink, and then the finish part of it. That's kind of the only thing that's left, and I'm not as much a fan of that. But overall, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it does leave the back of the tongue heavy, with some, sourish, bittery, not bitter, so with a sour. There's a heaviness.
Yeah, that's a
there.
sour.
There's a layer there.
Yeah, you get the nice spices, and you kind of get that going up, and then it really just kind of hits in the middle of the tongue there. But that's not bad.
As I'm going on, though, it's seeming to be a little more scattered. My first couple of sips were a lot of good pumpkin, a lot of good spice, a little bit sour. Now I just took that sip, and for some reason it seemed like it was losing it a little bit, losing its focus. That could be me, though.
No, I think you're right. I know exactly what you're saying.
It just seemed to be a little more concentrated. And now I just got like a little bit of spice in there, but it's not bad.
No,
It's not overly pumpkin, but it's got the right amount of the aroma of the pumpkin, and then the little bit of the pumpkin taste with the spices.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I would actually like a little more. What I like about the pumpkin is usually in a good one, especially like you want the body kind of is almost kept up by that, by the the starches and the different things that are in there. So I would like a little bit more from that, but that's probably not the style they were specifically going for. But that's pretty nice. I could easily recommend that. I think
It's a good start.
it's a good start. So now we will move on to pumpkin beer number 2.
All right. Pleasantly plump and satisfied.
You are
about the beer.
Okay. All right. Well, that leads us into pumpkin beer number 2, which is also from Sam Adams. This is part of that limited edition series, and it is their Fat Jack. And this one, they up the pumpkin level. They go up to 28 pounds worth of pumpkin.
So they actually say that?
Per barrel. Yep.
Because it does say double pumpkin on this. So
Well, that's not quite, because the last one was 17.
Oh, well.
So that would have been 34. Maybe there's different math in Massachusetts. I'm not sure exactly.
In Massachusetts?
Massachusetts. Yeah, maybe
Yes.
Well, when you're making beer, you're also probably drinking beer, so maybe that's where the calculation gets a little
Sometimes,
off.
yeah.
I'm not sure. But anyway, so they've got lots more pumpkin, supposedly a little heartier, full-bodied, that kind of thing. So we've gone with that one. They've also upped the alcohol content. What are we at for that?
8.5% on this one.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Ooh, nearly.
So that means they may have upped the malt. I'm already on alert.
You're already on alert. My gosh.
Pumpkin and barley wine. In fact, that should be someone should make a pumpkin barley wine, and I would definitely not try it.
That would be your least
I could
favorite
stay
style
away from that
of all time.
Pumpkin barley wine.
Pumpkin barley wine.
No,
exactly.
I've grown to appreciate the pumpkin beers. We've found some good ones.
We have actually.
So.
You've even purchased the Dogfish yourself, a 4-pack.
I did. No, I don't think I did.
I thought you had purchased that at some point.
No, I
know I do
considered it.
every year. That's still my favorite. So
I
that's why
considered
it's
it,
Return
but I
Champ.
haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
If I can find it on sale. It's hard to find Dogfish on sale.
Well, and the pumpkin too goes so quick. It's like almost like if you find it, you should get it.
Grab
they
it.
make such a small, limited amount of it. But anyway, $5.99 for the 22-ounce bottle once again, and pretty humorous picture, kind of like the graphic on there, which you'll see when you're at the website at AboutBeverages.com, along with obviously the link to Sam Adams' website, where you'll get to log in every time with your birth date, etc.
Even if you've just been inactive on the site.
Yeah, even if you've just been inactive for a few minutes, you'll have to do it again anyway.
It's a noisy beer.
It kind of is. There's something about the bottle style here that kind of does that a little bit.
Yeah, overall, though, I've been pretty happy with the Sam Adams, with this line of beers that they're trying, because they're finding different things. The Sadi that we had last week. There's one I've had a couple of times that we maybe we'll try on the podcast called the Gosa. That's been really good.
Okay.
And we've tried, or at least I've enjoyed it. I shouldn't have swayed you, but I think I've already told you that I liked it.
You did, yeah.
What else? We've tried a couple of other things that have been.
We tried the IPA that was in there.
And
They've got
red,
a double, like a Bon Voyage or something. Like it's like a double IPA or an
and
IPA.
the strawberry or the blonde barley wine.
Yeah. No, it's definitely nice. Like I said, that they are trying to do
pushing it.
Push it to the limit.
Not much carbonation on there, or not much head on that one at least.
No, not a lot. Pretty similar color to the last one. Maybe a little bit darker.
Yeah,
but not much.
A little more red to me than the last one.
Yeah.
Of course, that could be the effects of the orange.
The pumpkin.
Extra pumpkin.
The extra pumpkin. That's
from
true.
The orange, making it more red.
You can't even get how? That's not possible.
I did.
You're doing that for effect.
I'm not doing it for effect.
There is no way the first aroma that doesn't come out to you is like spices and then sugar and then malt. Like, how is that like that your brain reverses all those things?
Is my brain reversing them, or is yours? Are you in denial?
You just blew my mind right there. It blew my mind. So once you've thought about it some more, this one seems more cinnamon focused. I seem to be getting more of that in the spice blend than the other one. And there's definitely a nice little pumpkin,
I get more
pumpkin squash in there. I'm getting a little more of that kind of going on, which is nice. Not a lot else. Malts are definitely in there. That's definitely balance in that aroma. But nothing
earth. Whoa.
Were you going to say earth-shattering?
Nothing earth-shattering in the aroma.
Oh, yes. Yeah, compared to the last one. But all right.
As I was bringing that up to my mouth and inhaling with the I could already get pumpkin coming in.
Yeah.
And now I do get some spices. A little bit more of the ginger, actually.
Yeah, there's a little more ginger
a little bit of that
I'm
heat.
getting a little heat, even like going down a little bit, which I don't think is alcohol. Like I actually think it's a little more of that, or at least a balance of the two. I'm getting a little more body in this one too, which is nice. It's not quite as, it's still fairly smooth, but it's definitely a little more weight to it, which is nice. A little more gravity.
It doesn't have that sour from the last beer. That sort of middle sour that weighted it down a little bit on the finish. To me, I don't get that.
No, I don't at all either. This is actually really good.
So it's smoother.
Yeah. It's smoother in that regard. I like the spice blend again. I think they've done a good job with that, where it's not too forward, where it's like, because actually it's funny, in doing research, as I mentioned earlier, about, making a pumpkin style beer or something like that. You see a lot of people are like, you really don't get any of that pumpkin flavor anyway, just throw in a ton of spices. And it's like,
that's not true.
If I'm making a pumpkin beer, it's not going to not have pumpkin in it.
Absolutely.
I don't care if you barely taste it. I have to know that it has pumpkin in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you do taste it. You do taste it. If you do the right amount, you do taste it. It's in there. It's in the body. It's in even the flavors.
I get a little vanilla in there almost. There's something
a little whipped creamy.
It's not oak, but a little whipped. Yeah, almost a little like it's not an oakiness, but it's that sort of a vanilla, that sometimes you can associate, like in a bourbon.
Yeah.
You get that vanilla from the oak in some bourbons.
That's definitely in there.
Vanilla sweet.
That's definitely in there. I like that. That's pretty tasty. I think it's a nice balance of things. That sour is not there, which is great. It's more, like I said, it's more about the nice spice blend and the pumpkin.
Well, what I was going to say originally was that for the price, I would probably go back to the other one, but then I remembered that sour.
Yeah.
And that is not here. So, yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, I like this one a lot as well.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Now we've got another one. Beer number 3 is from Shipyard Brewing, previous winner on the podcast for pumpkin beers, but that was their pumpkin head. Now we've got one from their signature series, Brewmaster series, Pugsley
series, the
Pugsley series, and this is
series.
their smashed pumpkin. So I'm gonna go get that. All right, so we have beer number 3. This is the final of the newcomers, the challengers, if you were.
That's right.
To the Dogfish crown that is currently held by them. And we've got kind of at least a brewery returning champion of sorts.
In this particular style?
Yes, in the form of from Shipyard. Now, you actually picked this up, so you brought this on yourself.
I know, I did.
Talk to me a little bit about this. This is from a series, right?
From Shipyard. It's their Pugsley signature series, and Alan Pugsley. Alan Pugsley is the brewer of Shipyard, and Shipyard also they operate under a lot of other names as well. They also operate under KBC, which brews beer for Trader Joe's.
Oh, okay.
So, and we are actually about to get a KBC pumpkin beer, which we don't have yet.
Interesting.
So,
very interesting.
If the timing had worked out, I had thought I could have brought that one over. We could have compared it next to Shipyard, or compared it next to
Wow, that's really interesting. Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, so there's a big tie in there. But yeah, I saw this because it was Shipyard, because I'd liked their pumpkin so much in the past, as far as pumpkin beers go.
Yeah.
Picked this one up, and I was also able to get $1 off because it was $9.99 for the 22-ounce bomber, but I was able to get it for $8.99.
Yeah, this is definitely
Total Wine coupon.
Definitely pricey. This is the smashed pumpkin.
Yep.
It comes in at 9% alcohol and is even more limited release than their just normal Shipyard pumpkin head.
Yeah.
Like I said, a little harder to find. You can still find it, which is good right about now because it's the time when you want it. And I've heard of this, and I've not had it, but full disclosure, I have heard that it's supposed to be very good.
We'll find out.
So I don't want to, like I said, but that's kind of all I've heard, is that it's been, sought after. I remember when we did our Pumpkinhead one, seeing videos online of people talking about this one, saying like, "Oh, I can't wait till this one comes out." So hopefully those accolades are there. But yeah,
we're about to find out.
We're about to find out, because we did like that last Sam Adams was pretty tasty.
Yeah,
so
it was.
So right now, that's the one that's going to vie for the crown.
I would say, that one. And we were discussing, the first Sam Adams pumpkin versus the second. The second one just didn't have that bitter note at the end, and had a little bit more body, a little bit more of everything. So even though it is a little bit more cost prohibitive, we would still be that one would still be our favorite. But got another comer right here, another up and coming challenger here.
Well, this is nice too. On the back of this, in their information about the beer, they actually mention some of the grains that they use as well as the hops. They've got the Willamette in here. They got the Hallertau. They got some different things. That's kind of cool that they actually put that on there. Wow.
And they recommend mixing this with a little stout.
What was it? Was that actually on the back of the bottle that they mentioned?
Bottle,
okay.
Yeah.
They said to blend this together for an even heartier, like seasonal kind of brew. So, well, this is definitely the lightest one we've had.
It's orange-ish, and it's cloudy, though. I mean, it's not cloudy, but it's definitely not see-through.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And not a lot of head retention on that.
Which is kind of similar to the actual pumpkin head from Shipyard. Remember, that was one of the lightest ones. It was very light in color, yellowish almost. So they're kind of definitely doing a heavier take on that, but actually the color reminds me of pumpkin.
It does.
It's kind of a nice, like I said, that orange color in there. So
yeah. I get the malt, but not that. But there's also almost some perfumey aromatics in there. It's a little well, not as much on my second sniff.
I'm getting more of the vanilla note in this one. It mixed in with the spices. I'm getting in, like I said, this is definitely another well balanced. Like I said, I can say that for all the beers we've had today, they've all been a good balance of things. Mm-hmm. We kind of had some duds last year that were a little bit more like, really light beer. We're gonna throw in a ton of spices, call it a pumpkin beer.
Right.
Like I said,
right.
These people are definitely taking a little bit more care. That smells really nice. Like I said, I am getting more of this. Reminds me of like more of a canned pumpkin pie. Like I don't. That's not a bad thing. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like there's more of that creamy. Like I said, a little bit of vanilla sweetness along with the spices and those different things. So
really just a lot of pumpkin.
There is a lot of
and any spices or aromatics are kind of secondary to the pumpkin.
Yeah, they're in there. Like I said, I'm
Right.
getting the vanilla that we talked about. I'm getting
They're
the other
supporting
spices. Yeah, they're
pumpkin.
supporting characters just to kind of liven up the pumpkin, which is very nice. They don't really talk about them at their site right now, which we'll have a link to at AboutBeverages.com. And they don't have any kind of neat little facts about how much pumpkin they're using in here. So I don't have those kind of interesting numbers, but
Right.
definitely this is probably because they are using a lighter balance of malts. More of that is coming through, I would say.
Which is funny though, because this alcohol is higher though, right?
It's 9%.
So it's high. It's the highest one we've had so far,
Right.
But that just could mean that it's either a mellower. I mean, it's malt, but just a milder malt, maybe, or maybe
Right. Well,
not
they're using
as-
more. They're using more base malts, which are lighter in color,
Okay.
than actual like specialty malts, which are the darker things, like
Okay.
your chocolate malts. Although I did notice they're using the Munich malt and some other things in here as well, but it's just balancing those things out. So the lighter color, they're using a lot more of your base malt, which is almost super light compared to like all these other darker things. Your crystal and your different things that start getting darker as you go down. So they're using more of a balance of that than the other things.
It is more. I think kind of like you said before, it is more sort of pumpkin pie. Because you get the good pumpkin flavor, you get the spice, you get some vanilla, whereas the others are more maybe pumpkin and spice. There's
This
I don't
is
know,
almost
it's hard to say.
No,
but-
this is almost like the total package. Like you're almost getting. It's probably pushing it a little bit, but there's almost like a little buttery note in there as part. Maybe that's not vanilla per se, but there's like a buttery creaminess that's kind of in there, even though this is a little bit lighter, beer, body wise.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit more of that. So it is almost like a blend of all the flavors that you would get in a pumpkin pie, including the crust. It's like all of those things in there.
Absolutely. I would agree.
You know what I mean?
with that.
Especially like that crust, like I said, I remember that crust like Mom used to make that had more of the butteriness in it. And she
flaky,
actually really made like that homemade crust.
Yep.
That's kind of what I'm getting out of this.
Yep.
That's pretty tasty too.
So now we don't announce our winner until after we've tried all four of them, correct?
No, so we're gonna go we've got the Dogfish
Okay.
from obviously from them. Their pumpkin ale from Dogfish. So we're gonna try that. But I have a feeling this may actually be a three horse race.
It seems that way right now.
I'm kind of feeling that right now.
Yep.
So it's good that we actually did save some of the other ones. I will say right now that probably the first Sam Adams is off the table. That sour was just a little too much.
Yeah.
It was not a
Does not
terribly
make it.
unbalanced beer, but it was just kind of, especially after having these two, kicking that one to the curb.
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go get the Dogfish, and we will go from there. So that is what we have here. Beer number 4 is obviously the champion, returning champion, twice over, I believe. This is Dogfish Head Pumpkin Ale. It's one that I do make a chance or take the time out to purchase every year. I do enjoy this one, actually. And I know you liked it as well, just because it was usually not quite as crazy with the spices. It was a nice balance of everything.
Yeah.
And that was what originally got it going,
Yeah.
and we just hadn't found anything else that did a good job. But I think it's actually going to be tough this year.
Well,
I actually
got
bought
some serious contenders.
Bought this 4-pack. Haven't had one again this year until now. So it's gonna.
Oh, you haven't had one yet?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
bought it. Just kind of. I knew we were going to need it at some point anyway.
McGee Road Liquors?
McGee Road Liquors.
Okay.
Got it there. They were the only place I've found it so far. Like I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Bevmo.
Oh, do they?
Bevmo, at least
Okay.
3 weeks or so, had a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
On hand, but yeah.
All right. So, yeah, there's not really too much to say. 7% alcohol, seasonal, hard to find. Even if this one for some reason does not win this year, I recommend it. I do like this one
Still
quite a
good,
bit.
yeah.
It's definitely worth it. A little on the pricier side. Usually it's around $10.99, maybe $9.99 for a 4-pack.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit more on the expensive
So that's
side.
how Dogfish beers are that way.
That is kind of how Dogfish rolls.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. So
It's funny. And speaking of Dogfish, and then in relation relating to last week with the Saudi, they've actually did a collaboration beer with somebody, and they called it Sa Tea, Tea. And
I
it
have
was a
seen
nod
that.
to that. It was a nod to the Saudi stuff.
Yeah, I have seen that.
And I guess somewhere along the line, New Belgium's actually done a Saudi as well.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
Did not know that either. Now we know what that means. And
Yes.
so do you.
And so do you.
Because you
and if you
listen
didn't,
to-
go back into the archives.
That's right.
Just a week ago.
If you're confused right now,
yeah, go back a week.
Just go back.
It'll all make sense then. Huh. Very similar in color to the Shipyard.
but a little more clear, a little more clarity.
Yeah, more clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Which is funny because if you're, like I said, looking at the website, which we kind of did earlier, like we will have a link to that in the link lounge at AboutBeverages.com. They say brown ale. It's not quite as dark as I would usually say for a brown ale.
Right.
In my
Usually
head.
brown ales are actually somewhat brown.
Yeah. That's definitely more of that orangish gold kind of color.
Orange, yeah, maybe a little brown is bringing that orange down a little
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, that's not what I would consider brown.
They do use brown sugar in this. They actually use whole pieces of pumpkin. They don't also say what amount, but all the beers that we've done today have actually been using pumpkins in their beer, which is what you need to do
in a pumpkin beer.
Yeah,
They actually use pumpkins.
Yeah, it's surprising, but sadly some brewers don't.
I do remember that aroma. That is nice. See, now you were giving me crap on the first three, especially the first two, because I smelled malt first.
Yeah.
This one I did not.
Okay.
I did not smell malt. And the last one was more of a malt spice blend. The first two I was like malt. It definitely was malt.
Okay.
This one is, I didn't get malt at all. I definitely got the brown sugar.
That's what I like about this one so much. Like I said, there's something to me, about the brown sugar that's in here, thinking about that kind of baked and melted on like a nice, on pumpkin or something like that. Like the thought of that just like, it's comforting. It's very, there's something about that whole idea, and then just like I said, where it, the aroma comes in. It's just fantastic to me. Nice spices afterward, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, those kind of general things. Again, well balanced. Really good job.
Not as
on
much
that.
pumpkin especially as the previous beer.
No, definitely not. For me,
but
it's the brown
other
sugar's
things.
forward.
Yeah.
Brown sugar, those spices, and then the malt is definitely there.
Yeah.
So
It's good.
it is good.
I don't know if it's going to win this year.
I don't know if it is either. I'm feeling the same. I'm feeling the same.
I don't get, and this is going to sound weird, because normally that would be a positive for me. I don't really get a lot of pumpkin in there.
No.
I get the spices, and I think that's what we've liked in the past about this, at least because I'm just guessing, and we would have to go back in and listen to and look at our notes from the previous things. But I think in the past, if there was a lot of pumpkin, it was kind of fake, or...
That's what we didn't like in the ones that were really bad. There was a couple, like I said, from a previous year that I think one of them maybe didn't even use pumpkin.
Right.
The one from the Shock Top, we did a pumpkin one from them, and there's also one from Blue Moon, and I think they were more about the spices and trying to kind of fake that kind of thing, and those really didn't work at all. We've had one from, I think it was a Winter Brewing, had one that was like punked or something like that, and that came close. Like that was pretty good last year, but still wasn't quite as good. But yeah, this is definitely on the thinner side, I think. Not as thin as the last two. Or I mean, thinner than the last two, I should say.
Yeah.
Like I said,
definitely thinner than the Fat Jack.
Yeah. Like I said, so it's kind of like that. It doesn't have the oiliness that the smashed pumpkin one does. And it is kind of missing some of the actual squash, vegetable kind of pumpkin in there, the base.
And I think in the past, at least for me, that's been a good thing because for whatever reason, the balance hasn't been there. I think I liked that this was like it had a nice focused balance on those spices. But now I'm kind of, especially with what we had in the previous two, especially the previous one, the pumpkin that was in that, and then the pumpkin even that was in the Fat Jack. Now it's like some brewers are getting it, I think doing it better than they were. And I still like this a lot, but I don't, now I'm kind of wishing, ooh, this needs a little pumpkin, thinking this needs a little pumpkin in it.
Yeah. And you know what I'm noticing in this one too, and it's not very high on the IBU scale, but I'm picking up on the bitterness. Didn't even register or even was a thought in the other two. But the finish on this is spice into some bitterness.
Yeah,
from some hops.
Yeah,
and like I said, that's really kind of the finish on this one, as opposed to being more clean and heavy.
Yeah,
which is kind of what I was looking for. So I still like this quite a bit. Like I said, it's still a fairly nice balance, but I think we're gonna have to.
I think maybe it's been knocked off.
I think maybe now. How do you want to go about this?
In what way?
Well, we kind of need to decide,
because this has been dethroned.
I think so. How are you feeling about that? Are you feeling like you can make that decision? Or
I think I can.
Okay.
Because I like the previous two a little bit more than I like this one.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay.
So the two finalists
Yeah.
are before us.
Champion has been knocked off. I don't think our mind will change as we taste these two. So I think it's down to these two.
We won't. It's not like it's not like we don't recommend the pumpkin anymore.
That's still really good.
Let's just say that right up front. But something else is capturing our attention this year.
So we've got the smashed pumpkin and the smashed pumpkin and the Fat Jack from Sam Adams. I think we should almost not say anything.
Yeah.
I will do a little time lapse here in a second, and then we will just both maybe make our pick.
At the same time, we'll say what we pick.
Yeah.
Or we'll push the glass forward that we pick. How about that?
We could do that too.
Okay. All right. I know.
I do too.
I know what I like.
All right. You ready?
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah. Especially side by side.
This one, in case they can't tell by the visual, we both picked the smashed pumpkin.
We picked the smashed pumpkin.
Yeah. Like, to me, trying them side by side like that, not even close. Oh, wow. Now you're even breaking. See, now you're even bringing another player into it.
I know.
Did that change your mind at all? Oh, keeps handing me my glass, so that must mean something.
This is still my number one, but this might be my number two. I'm not sure.
Yes, and I know why.
I know you know why. For me, that's too malty.
Well, partly that, but do you know what actually is in there? And I had forgot about it. It had gone out of my mind, but I had read about it, that actually they used in the Sam Adams, in the Fat Jack, smoked malts. Like I'm getting a little bit of the peaty smokiness in there.
And normally I don't mind that, but that's not.
And it's not that it is a bad thing, but when you compare those two, yeah, definitely. So for me this year, the number two still is the pumpkin. The pumpkin,
yeah. And this is very interesting, and I like it for something different. The Sam Adams Fat Jack, but this I really like that.
It's great, even as it's warmed up a little bit.
Yeah,
that's really delicious.
It's kind of light, but I mean it's light, but it's very flavorful, and there's just a lot of good stuff going on in there.
Yeah, there's that nice oiliness to it. There's still that kind of olive oil like coating, but it's not super heavy. But there's a lot of flavors there, like you said. It's great, and it is like that combination that we were kind of writing down. It's like a pumpkin pie, like all put together. You get
the crust, everything's in there. The whipped cream, because you get some vanilla.
Yeah,
so it's all in there.
Yeah, and everything's just well balanced. So yeah, I 100%. Smashed pumpkin. That is definitely the new champion.
Yep.
That's very good. I wish I'd had you pick up another one that day. I should have.
Is it not there anymore?
Little did I know. You know what? I don't know.
It might still be there.
I haven't looked. I'll have to check. Yeah, definitely. But I highly recommend that one. And I think that's even a good, and because it's a little bit lighter than some of these others, it is a little more expensive. It was
$10.
Around $10 for a bomber compared to $10 for a 4-pack, or even the Sam Adams is even a little more expensive because it was $6 for a bomber so it is on the more expensive side, but I think it's even more approachable. If someone has never had a pumpkin beer before, I think the balance is there where it'll win those people over, but even people like us that have tried probably way too many pumpkin beers, it's great for that too, because it really shows off when a brewer does something right and finds the balance but still is able to highlight all the different things. That's what it is.
Well, their shipyard is, highly sought after. And so obviously they just built on that and just took this probably to the next step. Obviously, because this is 9, is this 10%? This is 10% alcohol?
9% alcohol.
9% alcohol, and their the shipyard pumpkin.
It's sessionable.
Pumpkin head is 4.7.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to try the two of those together.
Yeah, I definitely think that one would be on the lighter side. That one was more about the spice and refreshing and that kind of thing from what I remember. Haven't actually probably had that in over a year or two. But
we must have had it as the returning champion in 2010?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So that would have gone.
That's probably the last time that I had it.
Yeah.
But wow, this has been great. I think actually what was nice about this time is all of these pumpkin beers are really a good representation.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go super wrong with any of them. Like
No,
even the
I would
original
agree.
Sam Adams that we kind of kept out of it, I still think it's definitely a good representation of the style. It just has some flavors that we just didn't like as much. And then as you went up through the channel, these were all very good, but definitely the Smash Pumpkin.
Well, once again, it just
thumbs up.
shows you that you need to try anything, whether it's a coffee or a tea or a beer or, not anything, but at least things like this. Try them at different temperatures. They reveal different characteristics to you as you go along. And, even as much as we have tried and tasted, and you think you know what you know, you don't always know what you know.
No.
Sometimes you're going to be surprised, because I would have thought that these two were the two that were the top two, but then I went back and had this against the pumpkin again, and I preferred the pumpkin over this. So just you just never stop learning on this journey of life and this journey of trying anything, really, beverages. And so that's what keeps it so. That's why we're still doing this.
Yeah,
That's why
definitely.
in a couple months we're going to start year number 5, I think.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So
wow, that's
there's
a lot of beverages.
There's a lot.
And they all can be found at the website at AboutBeverages.com, and that's
Well,
where
you
you
almost
can
think we script this stuff, but we don't.
You do.
It's all
right?
free form.
You walked right into it right there. I appreciate it. And that's where you can find the tasting notes for all of the beers we tried today. We'll probably just kind of rehash the pumpkin ones, because those are about the same, I would say, as last year, which I think we did from the year before.
the original, you mean?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, definitely check out the tasting notes for all of these beers, along with where they hit on our recommendation scale. And if this has piqued your curiosity at all, we do definitely have several other years of pumpkin beers for you to check out, along with other fall seasonals, which actually over the next couple weeks, even more fall seasonals. We've got a porter coming up. We've got barrel-aged Imperial Stout. We've got lots of great things coming up. Like I said, it's the fall season. Always excited about this time of year. We get into heartier things. We get into heavier flavors and more exciting things. So just very excited. But thank you all for joining us on these journeys of a little bit of humor.
Yeah, and if you have any pumpkin beers that you think we should be trying, as some favorites that you like, or have a comment and want to tell us we're way off base, or if you want to agree with us, or whatever, please send us an email, send us a tweet, do anything. Just get in touch with us and let us know. We really. It really does mean a lot to us when we read the feedback, and we do read it and we do respond. So thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, Twitter, Facebook, Untapped, all of these things, our YouTube channel, all of this is all definitely in a great open forum to discuss what we love so much, which are beverages, and this time it was beer.
That's right.
All right. Well, definitely coming up very soon, more podcasts, but until then, thank you very much for watching.